Have you ever had a secret dream? You know, the kind of dream that is so outrageous, you're pretty sure it's never going to happen. You keep it a secret because if you tell anyone, they might laugh at you. Or your mom asks, can you make a living at that? As a child growing up, I had a secret dream to compete in the Olympics. But not just compete, I wanted to win a medal. I really wanted the gold. It was an ambitious dream for anyone, but nearly impossible for someone who had been born missing a leg. Maybe that's the reason I had never seen anyone like me in the Olympics. I learned to walk when I was only 2 years old on my first prosthetic leg, and I set out to prove to the world that I could do everything all the other kids could do. But of course I couldn't. I tried so many different sports, but the only thing I got really good at was coming in last. I tried out for cheerleading, only to have one of the judges tell me afterwards, "You cannot do the moves like the other girls," as if I didn't already know. I tried running. I must have looked so pathetic because cars often pulled over and asked if I needed a ride. I tried ice skating. That was a disaster. I fell and broke my one good leg, ending up in a wheelchair for 6 weeks. In spite of my failures, I was not willing to give up on my dream. And that turned out to be a good thing, because one morning I received a phone call from a woman named Jan Morrissey asking if I wanted to learn how to ski. Yes, sign me up. I had seen one-legged skiers on TV, and I just knew that was something I could be good at. We've been looking for someone who could teach me. Jan was not only a ski instructor, she also had one leg. It was a double win and an answer to my prayers. We headed up to the mountain for that very first lesson. All I wanted to do was ski down the slope. All Jan wanted to do was teach me how to fall, something I was already an expert at. But as it turned out, what I really needed to learn was how to get back up after a fall. That was the hardest part. Instead of ski poles, I used these things called outriggers, which were like four-arm crutches with sawed-off ski tips mounted on the ends. They gave me extra balance when I was skiing, but when I fell, they acted like skewers pinning me to the ground. Thankfully, Jan was an excellent teacher, and it didn't take long before I was also able to ski down the hill. She encouraged me to enter my first race. I didn't think I was ready, but with everything I'd already tried, I thought, what have I got to lose? Would you believe I did not come in last at that race? I knew then ski racing was the sport for me. I moved to the mountains of Colorado so that I could ski full-time and train with some of the best disabled racers in the world. I worked my way up through the ranks, and eventually the head coach of the U.S. Disabled Ski Team took notice, and he invited me to compete in the World Championships. The only reason he was going to bring me along was to get some experience, with the disclaimer, don't expect to win any medals. Never one to shy away from a challenge or an opportunity. I got experience, all right. I experienced winning 2 silver medals and securing my spot on the 1992 Paralympic team headed to France. My secret dream was not a secret anymore. And then I fell in the first race of the Paralympics. I sat on the sidelines watching the other racers go by, knowing I had failed, wallowing in self-pity, wondering what made me think I could do it. Somehow the memory of that first lesson came flooding back. What I had to learn was how to get back up after a fall. Thankfully, Jan was an excellent teacher. I picked myself up out of the snow to get ready for the next race. On the morning of the second race of the Paralympics, I knew what I had to do. 10 years of hope and hard work had prepared me for that moment. There was no room for doubt as I burst out of the start, charging from gate to gate, hanging on the edge of control, turn after turn, faster and faster. I dropped into a tuck as I crossed the finish lane, and I looked up at the scoreboard, and my name jumped to the top. And on that day, I won my gold medal. So let me ask you again. Do you have a secret dream that you think is impossible? Maybe it's time to reveal your secret. What have you got to lose?